The first song that Alan played on was a song that I wrote in the mountains of Norway called Petra. God, the story of this is really funny because Alan came over to my tiny apartment where I lived at the time.
That's right.
And recorded this drum part to this song. And then I brought it over to my producer friend in Czech Republic, Michal Kotsov, and he added some really great cellists and violas and this other drummer that he was playing with at the time. And he didn't know it was Alan on drums, and so he erased the drums and just kept the cymbals. And,
that's right.
And then had his drummer play this really simple drum part. And when he found out that he had erased Alan's drums, he just was he couldn't believe it.
Like a yellow mountain wildflower bending springtime through the snow. You're the life behind the children you bore. Your gray-green eyes have seen the sights that only mothers know, and keep the secrets never told before.
In July of 2006, my sister Kay, my brother Mike, and myself went to Norway to visit our relatives, and while we were there, I started writing songs. I was really inspired, and I was trying to think of what song should I write next, and all of a sudden my cousin's mother walks into the room. Petra! Beautiful! And she's this lady that I just really fell in love with. So we went on a little mountain drive way up in the mountains, and it got really stormy up there. And meanwhile, as we're driving along, I'm busy writing down all these words just came out. They were inspired by this lady that to me epitomizes what it is to be a mother. And then we got back to the mountain cabin where it was sunny, and the music just came out really easily, and I had a new song, Petra.
This song I wrote was to honor femininity, specifically motherhood, because it's such a sacred thing. So, as we play this song and you dance to it, if you could hold inside the feeling of something sacred being expressed that exemplifies all that is feminine, motherly, that would be really cool. And then this other song called Father, a tribute to my father, man, I had so many different permutations of it, played with this bunch of people and this bunch of people and this bunch of people, and I tried editing and tried everything to make this song work, and nothing worked. And I thought, wow, what if we had Foz and Alan play on the song? So they came over to Mike McGinnis's geodesic dome and started working. And I was just absolutely blown away because Alan, within a very short amount of time, was coming up with these different ways of looking at the time. He was looking at it in a shuffle feel when it was just straight 4 time, and it threw me off at first, but then I understood, and then we kind of worked around that, and then he would keep going back and forth from straight time to a shuffle during the song, and it was just brilliant.
Sorry, yeah.
Now when I listen to the song,
that's my job. Complicate things.
Yeah, it was great. be a songwriter too? Well, in Lighthouse Park, which our house on Water Lane bordered, there are some of the oldest rocks on the North American continent. They're these big, broad, rounded rocks that the glaciers scraped, and you can see the scrape marks of the glacier. And I went and sat up on top of that rock and prayed for the ability to bring great music to the world.
Did what you had to do. You passed along some poetry, and I wish that you were here.
People's priorities are going to be, how much can I give? How can I give? How can I help? That's going to be the most important thing in each of our future. So that's what this project became. The One Vision Project is how can we magically give something that's actually going to do something positive.
There's no bass player in the world like Steve Fossen, and I can't figure out how he does it, but he'll pick up any bass guitar and it'll sound...
Did you pass the money over there?
It'll sound a certain way, and I don't know. So I'm really honored to have the basic core of the song Father be this three-piece. Damn cool.
Yeah.
As we stand on this field of grass, we know this soul is free at last, and we bow to his lasting love with the grace from all of the above. Final home, final rest, where we know we've done our best. Smell the blossoms, see the colors of his presence in all of the above.
I had a girlfriend at the time by the name of Cindy Wallace, and her grandmother had died, so we flew over to Spokane, Washington, and checked into the hotel, and then shortly after that we went to this funeral, and we're out on the grass, and I'm thinking, geez, there should be a song that's kind of a standard for funerals, and what would that be? And so I wrote All of the Above.
This was in the hundreds of songs Raj gave me to review when we were trying to figure out what to do here. And I just totally understood where he was coming from with that song, and it just seemed like a classic song, like you've heard it all your life, and that it was the perfect song for that occasion. And that occasion fit into the story of what we're doing perfectly, because it followed the story of a song about father and mother on the album. And since we had recently lost our father and mother, it really hit home to hear that song. So anyway, we were recording the song and mixing it and so on, and Roger was asked to do a benefit for this family who had a child born with cancer. And they had, the mother, I don't know if the father was there too, but the mother spent every single day in the hospital with that baby until he eventually died. And they were so moved by the whole experience, they set up a foundation to help other people who had children with cancer. And Roger performed at this event, and it was real touching and everything. And during his performance, I was meeting the family and talking with them. And One of the amazing things about this project is that we're constantly being surprised and amazed at all these amazing synchronicities that happen, and they just happen constantly. So the one that was happening right then was that it turned out that this child who inspired this foundation, his great-great-grandmother was the woman that Roger wrote that song about.
Wow. How is that possible?
As we live, we give our